Hi all, welcome to the next session in the Introduction to Big Data series. This is a continuation of the previous session on Apache Ambari. In this session, we will see about the Ambari features and terminologies. Before I go ahead with the session, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do click the bell icon below and subscribe so that you are notified when I upload a new video. First, let's see the features of Ambari. As we already saw, Ambari is an open source component, and so the first major feature of Ambari is that it is platform independent. Ambari runs in Windows, Mac, Linux OS and many other platforms as it architecturally supports any hardware and software system. Next feature is the failure recovery. While working on Ambari application, if something goes wrong, then Ambari can gracefully recover from it. This can be related to a situation where one is working with Microsoft Word document in Windows and suddenly the system crashes. But when the system comes up back, there will be an auto-saved version of the document in Microsoft Word. Then comes the extensibility. It means that the functionality of the existing Ambari applications can be extended by simply adding different view components. The different view components are the client-side assets, which is the UI that is exposed in the Ambari web, and the server-side resources, which are the classes that expose the RESTful endpoints. Next one is the version management and upgrade. Ambari maintains versions by itself, and as such, there is no requirement for any external version control or management tools like Git. This again makes upgrading Ambari applications or even the whole Ambari itself very easy. Then we have the pluggable component feature. We can easily customize any current Ambari application. Any specific tools or technologies should be encapsulated by the pluggable components. The goal of pluggability does not hold within the standardization of intercomponents. The last one is security. Apache Ambari comes with the robust security and Ambari application can sync with LDAP over the Active Directory. So that is all about Ambari features. Next, we will see the different terminologies that are used in Apache Ambari. The first one is the manifest. Manifest refers to the definition of a task which is sent to a node for execution. The manifest must completely define the task and must be serializable. Manifest can also be persisted on disk for recovery or record. This takes us to the next term, the task. Task is the unit of work that is sent to a node to execute. A task is the work that a node has to carry out as part of an action. For example, an action can consist of installing a data node in node 1 and installing a data node and a secondary name node in node 2. In this case, the task for node 1 will be to install a data node and the tasks for node 2 will be to install both a data node and a secondary name node. The next term is stage. Stage refers to a set of tasks that are required to complete an operation and are independent of each other. All tasks in the same stage can run across different nodes in parallel. Usually, multiple tasks will be required to run on various machines, and in most of the cases, these tasks have dependencies requiring them to run in a particular order. This comes in the stage plan. Some tasks are required to complete before the others can be scheduled. Therefore, the tasks required for an operation can be divided into various stages, where each stage must be completed before the next stage. But all the tasks in the same stage can be scheduled in parallel across different nodes. A stage under execution can be considered as an action. An action consists of a task or tasks on a machine or a group of machines. Each action is tracked by an action ID and nodes report the status at least at the granularity of action. Unless specified otherwise, a stage and an action will have one-to-one correspondence. And so, an action ID will be a bijection of request ID and stage ID. Next one is operation. Operation refers to a set of changes or actions performed on a cluster to satisfy a user request or to achieve a desirable state change in the cluster. For example, the starting of a service is an operation and running a smoke test is another operation. If a user requests to add a new service to the cluster and that includes running a smoke test as well, then the entire set of actions to meet the user request will constitute an operation. An operation can consist of multiple actions that are ordered. The next term is service. Service refers to the services in the Hadoop distribution. HDFS, Hive, Pig, etc. are examples of services. A service can just be a client library. For example, Pig doesn't have any daemon services, but just has a client library. A service may have multiple components. For example, HDFS has 3 components, name node, data node, and a secondary name node. Components may be optional. A component may span across multiple nodes. For example, data node instances on multiple nodes. Then there is a node or host. Node refers to a machine in the cluster. Node and host are used interchangeably. Node component refers to an instance of a component on a particular node. For example, a particular data node instances on a particular node is its node component. The last one is role, which usually maps to either a component, for example, name node, data node, or an action, for example, HDFS rebalancing, HBase mock test, or other admin activities, etc. So a quick recap: service, HDFS, HBase, pig, etc. Components in the service like name node, data node, machine in the cluster, host or node, components in a node, the node components. Manifest gives the definition of a task, wherein a task is a unit of work. Set of independent tasks is called as a stage. The execution order of stages is called as stage plan. A given stage under execution is an action. Set of changes or actions is called an operation. A role can either be a component or an action. That is the end of this session. Thank you for watching. If you find this video informational, do like, comment about it, share the video and subscribe to my channel.